Hi everyone, my name is Sherry Jacobs and I'll be your professor for EDU 2063 starting on August 30th. Welcome back to school. Hopefully this year will be a lot easier than last year. I see that there are many freshmen on the roster and welcome to NVNU. We're excited to have you with us. And I think the rest are sophomores. Um, so I'm sure a lot of you have had experience with online learning due to COVID, whether it be at the university level or the high school level. If you have any questions, however, during this course about um, how things work on Moodle, or if you can't get something to work, or record, or submitted because of a formatting error, I'm glad to help you in any way I can. So keep that in mind. I would like to start here by just looking at the syllabus with you. I'm not going to talk too much about it. All of the MVNU policies that are on here, and it's the same. So basically, this is just an introductory study of curriculum development and instructional design. The course objectives are here for diversity proficiencies, Ohio standards for teachers, and elementary standards. Now, the Ohio standards for teachers, a lot of people get confused when they're doing lessons, for example, for Chalk-and-Lyre, and where it says Ohio standards for teachers, they want to put it instead student standards. So keep that in mind. If you hear a little dog yipping soon, by the way, I have a Shih Tzu, and she's not quite 6 months yet, so she can be a bit precocious. Okay, so course format. We'll have a lecture. Much of the lecture is done. I'll do a video like this each week, and we'll talk about the upcoming assignments, any other information. And then part of it will be on PowerPoints or YouTube videos embedded within your course. You'll be doing activities, and there'll be tests or quizzes throughout the course. Online attendance for an 8-week course, if you miss more than 2 weeks, I have no other recourse than to you will be considered dropped from the class. That's the university policy. Late work policy is the same as in all classes, 10% off for each day late. Now, on the last day of class, it is totally nothing I can do about it if you say to me on Saturday of the last week of class, oh, Sherry, I didn't get this done because of something, whatever it might be. That has to be okayed above me. And on Saturday, the last day of class, that's not going to happen. So keep that in mind. If you have a very legitimate reason for having late work turned in, please know that I am very compassionate about things going on in your lives. With traditional students, unless you're ill or a family member has difficulty, it's not quite as difficult as it is for trad students who are mostly working and raising families. No extra credit is allowed to be given here at NVNU. I have your weekly assignments in here, all right here. Now you will also see an assignment list on each week of your course. I want you to pay particular attention to this though, because I think it kind of maps out your reading just a little bit better. So we'll be going through these each week, so I'm not going to read all of this to you. You're perfectly capable of doing that. And the candidate evaluation or grades are absolutely the same as for any other course at MVU. Here's a copy of our text in the edition, the 5th edition, and some references and resources that I used to complete your candidate guide. So next, what I'd like to do is move on and talk you through like about the beginning of what's going on, and especially the first week and the format for what we're doing. At the top, as in all classes, there's an announcement section, an Ask the Instructor section, a copy of your syllabus, prayer request, and tutoring. Educational department resources and policies. Here's a document on TPA academic language. I have the reading rubric up here, but I also have the reading rubric in every week that you have to do a reading assignment. I'm going to open that up and show you a little bit about what that looks like right now. The reading basically the reading response is what this is for. You'll be given an assignment to read, and then you're going to respond. This rubric is different than the forum rubric. Even though it has similar elements, it's different. There's an element for synthesizing concepts and principles, application of ideas, using APA citation appropriately, writing standards, and content guidelines. And then you'll notice at the bottom, this is your forum rubric is 20 points. This is 100. Please pay careful attention to this rubric along with every other rubric as you're getting ready to do your assignments. I am totally rubric driven, which is what the schools will want from you when you start teaching as well. So week 1 is about the history of education. I always have resources here at the top. For example, here are the learning outcomes. I won't read them to you. You're capable of doing that, but I'm trying to show you what the week looks like. Here are your week 1 assignments. And this next section is where you actually turn them in. So you'll notice that it says Wednesday is when your initial post is due for your forum, and you have to make at least 2 posts by Saturday to other classmates. And please, just like I said with the reading response forum, I just can't emphasize enough how important it is to have that rubric with you, to make sure that you have what you need in there. And those responses are due. It says then all other assignments must be submitted by no later than Saturday at 11:59 p.m. And as I say that, if we go back here to learning outcomes, to your assignments for week 1, you'll notice as it says your syllabus reading is confirmed as due Thursday. And the reason I did that is because obviously for you to do well at this course, you need to read the syllabus. And it's a pretty short syllabus as far as those go. So make sure you get that done by Thursday. So the first assignment, your homework assignment for week 1, is the get to know you. You'll have 10 points for your particular post or video, and then you'll receive 5 points for each response, which would be 2, to other people's, for a total of 20. This just basically tell us your story. Tell us where you are in education. Tell us why you want to be in education. Tell us about your life. In other words, give us a chance to get to know you as you get to know us. I always love reading them. They're so much fun to learn about everybody and what they do. So this is just like our regular forum. You post first by Wednesday and the 2 responses by Saturday. Now here's the other assignment. This is the history of education. So there are a couple of documents on here, attachments that you will use to do this assignment. So here's an early childhood historical guideline. I've checked these links over and over again to see if they're active. I have no doubt that some of them will be inactive when you try them. If that's the case, then you just go right on and ignore that, and there'll be more than one link for particular things. You'll still be able to find what you need. And after doing that, you're going to respond to the following prompts. Compare and contrast interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and integrated approaches in education, and so on. You're going to explain the theorists, some of the theorists, and how their policies still influence education today. And some of these theorists are from long ago. So it's not just what's going on today, but it's the fact that they're influencing today's. So close that out. And so you'll be doing that after you've gotten that document finished, just a Word document answering those questions that were asked. Then you'll put it into the slot on Moodle. Mine looks a little different than yours because I'm the professor and you're the student, so it looks a little different. We're going to go through and take a minute to look at just what's coming up. Everything, as I said, is laid out the same. Resources, assignments. There's next on week 2 a forum and another one of the reading responses. The same thing for the first assignment on week 3. We will begin to do a lesson plan in this course. This is an interdisciplinary lesson plan. And we will be talking about more and more about this. But there'll be a template that goes with it. Each week during our lecture and our PowerPoints, we'll talk about how you can do it, the correct way to fill these out. And you'll be submitting each week a partial lesson plan. It seems that the students in the past have really liked the way that we've laid that out. That's going to be your biggest lesson, but it's kind of combined. Once you turn that lesson plan in each week, what I'll do is I'll give you feedback and I'll say to you, make these changes before you turn your final lesson plan in. And that way, you're not going to be getting docked points for the same thing twice. Plus, when you're finished, you'll have a nice quality lesson plan. So you see on the week 3 resources, here's a link to the Ohio Learning Standards. And here's a video on academic language, one on writing measurable learning outcomes, and the template that you'll be using. So I'm giving you, between the lecture you'll get that week and all of the resources on here, the tools you'll need to have a successful completion of that partial lesson plan. Right here, forum partial lesson plan. Looking at week 5, we're going to talk about the differentiation of instruction and student motivation. Week 6, we're doing a discussion forum, a reading response, and another partial lesson plan. Week 7, you'll be having a forum on the multidisciplinary versus interdisciplinary lesson, which is different than just one or the other. We'll be doing a unit web design and a partial lesson plan. And finally, in week 8, you'll have a forum and response to questions that are being asked. I know with all of your other courses that some of you are taking now, especially since this is a traditional course, and I'm assuming most of you are living on campus, it's a lot to take in at one time, but I have no doubt as we go along and just take it week by week, you have a general overview of what we're doing, and each and every one of you has the ability, as long as you put in the time and look carefully at the rubric and directions, to do fantastic in this class. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to have success. I look forward to working more with all of you, and I hope you have a great beginning to your academic year.